light, and shadow. Tanos had captured Talia, but the ominous evil still had some influence and built a dungeon very close by.
Do not resist the light, daughter. Purify your soul.
Ah! Ah! Father! Why are you doing this? These are not good deeds.
You will know, daughter. Soon you will know.
The capture of Talia and her immediate torture, purification, one occasionally slips up with these religious fanatics, strengthened the heroes' morale. They assumed that good would now win, but they did not know about the dungeon growing in the underground. Even without Talia, the seductive evil still had some influence and powerful creatures. The evil set about raising an army that would free Talia. Do we really have to? Okay, she's funny and all that, but she takes away a lot of my narration time, which I could fill with brilliant monologues instead. Or I could recite a poem. Did I ever tell you the story about how I rode a bicycle over my own toe? Yeah, okay, you don't have to threaten me. We'll get her back. Fine. The bustling evil had discovered a room in the underground. Dragons have nested in the underground. There are countless spiders pouring out of a room that was accidentally unearthed. Disgusting. spiders have spread throughout the underground. Payday!
There are evil creatures in the underground? Go, my faithful. Cleanse that place and destroy the evil scum.
The lethargic evil's presence was no longer undetected. Heroes would henceforth be visiting the dungeon.
Despair not, and turn away from evil, my child. The goddess will forgive you.
The goddess can kiss my ass! I prefer to stay evil! Ah!
There are enemies in your dungeon. The thirsting for evil's army had reached an island of the good, but it wouldn't remain one for long.
Those were the days. Back when we fought side by side, Talia. Remember when we captured that orc tribe? And Grimly and Yain used them as living chessmen? You asked me if that wasn't evil, and I made you copy the Holy Scripture 100 times as punishment.
The thirsting for revenge evil's troops had discovered one of the heroes' outposts. They knew what they had to do. It's payday.
Renounce evil and return to the light, daughter.
Where there is light, there is also darkness. Ah!
How do you like that, Thanos? I mean, the inspiring me evil's army had laid waste to the outpost. Now it continued marauding through the country on its way to free Talia.
You will pay for that, vile pack. The goddess will pure...
The advancing evil's army marched towards a small nearby village. The citizens there fearfully armed themselves and attempted to go on the offensive.
Do not despair! The goddess is on our side! These evil creatures will never be able to resist warriors of the light! Destroy them and their breeding ground in the underground!
There are enemies in your dungeon. The pillaging evil's army marched towards the village, and definitely not to buy cheap meats and sausages.
Renounce evil and return to the light, daughter.
Where there is light, there is also darkness. Ah! Who do you want dead?
The plowing through the underground evil had discovered another exit to the overworld. This could prove very useful for delivering fresh supplies. There are enemies in your dungeon. The merciless evil had briefly explained to the villagers that it really only wanted to rescue Talia, but seeing as how its army was already there, it razed the village to the ground anyway.
You wicked, despicable creature. May you forever burn in hell. Good shall prevail! What? The village was wiped out? Those miserable dogs. Whoever fails in the fight against evil must have been possessed by evil. It is time for my personal guards to go out and once and for all destroy those evil monsters! Oh, Talia. Why, oh why did you kill Grimly? I mean, okay, he was a grumpy old racist who wanted to cut your head off when you were a baby and always insulted you, but that's no reason, is it?
It's payday.
Turn back to good, my child.
Unfortunately, I'm finding the torture just a little distracting. Ah!
There are enemies in your dungeon. The sacrifice didn't coax a single god out of the clouds. The gods found the sacrifice. Okay. The gods found the sacrifice. Okay. The sacrifice didn't coax a single god out of the clouds. The gods weren't particularly impressed by the sacrifice. The sacrifice pleased the gods. The sacrifice pleased the gods. It's payday. The rattling of Talia's breath was not a good sign. It was impossible to say how much longer she could hold on, but definitely not too long. The marauding evil had discovered another island of good. They really should be better hidden if they don't want them to be plundered, burned, and desecrated. Well, that's just the way those do-gooders are. The sacrifice didn't coax a single god out of the clouds. The gods weren't particularly impressed by the sacrifice. Tanos' fortress was not far away. Nothing more stood in the way of Talia's liberation. Well, except for the mighty Tanos, of course. The sacrifice angered the gods.
I should have known that you would one day return to evil. Back then, I refused to dominate your mind and instead tried to teach you. Scourged and punished you, let you go hungry, and gave you nothing but the Holy Scriptures to read, just the way the goddess likes. But you were never able to appreciate that, the way a servant of the good should.
The gods weren't particularly impressed by the sacrifice. The gods weren't particularly impressed by the sacrifice. You hear that grinding sound? That's a giant worm eating its way through the underground. It's payday.
You need to question and confine your evil essence. Turn to the light.
Not a chance. The dark side has cookies. Ah!
Talia was almost within reach of the coming to the rescue evil's army. Now was a really good time to think about what to do about Thanos.
Do I really have to do everything myself? I'm busy trying to convert my foster daughter to good through severe torture. Can't you see that? So be it. You'll be easy prey for the goddess. Die, scum!
Thanos threw himself at the absolute evil's army. He wouldn't need long to deal with them, but he was distracted, and Talia was able to free herself from his mental prison.
Must flee. Must reach the dungeon heart.
Daughter, don't do that! Do not let evil take hold of you again! Stay with me!
Thank you, but I can do without your conversion by torture. But I won't forget it. You will pay for that. And that's what my good side has to say.
With these words, Talia threw herself on the dungeon heart and was teleported away by the tactical evil. Talia was still no match for Thanos. But the sly evil already had a plan. The sacrifice pleased the gods.